I woke up to the sunlight spilling over the sheets, thinking today would be just like any other. Morning, I mumbled, expecting her familiar laugh, her playful groan at my early wake-up. But the apartment was quiet. Too quiet. I called her name. No answer. Where are you? I asked, my voice catching. From her phone, a notification blinked. A message. I picked it up. My stomach sank instantly. Her words weren't for me, they were for someone else. Everything is set. He trusts me completely. Soon it's all ours. I froze. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. I dropped the phone. No, this can't be real. A knock at the door startled me. It was Jason, my friend from work. He frowned immediately. Dude, what's wrong? I don't know how to say this, I whispered. She's been lying. Everything. All of it. Jason stepped in, closing the door behind him. You mean, she betrayed you? I sank onto the couch, gripping my hair. Yes. She smiled at me every day, pretended she loved me, but she was planning something behind my back. All my trust, gone. Jason sat beside me, placing a hand on my shoulder. I've seen it before. You can't change what she did, but you can control what happens next. I shook my head. Control? I trusted her. I gave her everything, Jason. How can I ever control this? He sighed. You survive. You watch. And then, you decide. But you can't stay like this, man. You'll drown in it. I laughed bitterly. Drown? I already feel like I'm underwater, gasping for air, and she's smiling on the surface. Jason's eyes softened. Look, I know it hurts. But that pain, that's your fuel. Don't waste it on tears alone. The next day felt heavier than the first. I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow reminded me of her betrayal. I didn't even want to face the world, but I had bills, work, and a life that didn't pause for heartbreak. Jason showed up again, his usual calm energy trying to ground me. You slept at least a little? I don't think sleep exists anymore, I muttered, rubbing my eyes. Every time I close them, I see her face, smiling at someone else. Someone I trusted would never exist in her world. Jason crouched in front of me. You can't blame yourself forever. You gave her trust because she made it seem real. That's on her, not you. I shook my head. No, it's not that simple. Everyone's talking. My friends, co-workers, they all heard about what she did. Some are even saying I should have seen it coming. I feel humiliated. Humiliated. Jason echoed, almost laughing. Yeah, maybe. But you're alive. You still have your mind. That humiliation? It can fuel you if you let it. I laughed bitterly. Fuel? I feel like a punchline. Everyone at work whispers. Even my mentor gave me a look, like I'm a fool who doesn't deserve respect. Jason frowned. Your mentor is human. Forget him for now. Focus on yourself. You need clarity, not judgment from others. I paced. Clarity, right? How do I get clarity when my world collapsed in a single text message? One message and everything I loved is gone. Jason followed. By surviving. That's step 1. Step 2 is thinking. Step 3, well, that comes later. But first, breathe and stay awake. Don't let grief paralyze you. I flopped onto the couch, feeling the weight of every memory with her. I keep replaying every conversation, every laugh, every promise. Was it all lies? Jason's hand on my shoulder tightened. I know it hurts. But the truth is, it doesn't matter if she lied or not. What matters is what you do next. Are you going to crumble or are you going to rise? I looked at him, anger flickering in my chest. Rise? After everything? You think I can just snap my fingers and rise? No, he said softly. Not snap your fingers. You survive. You watch. You plan. You take back what's yours. Trust me, it's possible. I sank back, staring at the ceiling. Everything feels poisoned. I feel betrayed by her, by everyone who didn't warn me, by my own stupidity. I loved her, Jason. I really did. Jason nodded, not interrupting. And that love doesn't make you weak. It makes your pain real. And real pain can be sharper than any weapon. Use it. I don't know if I can, I whispered. Everywhere I turn, I see reminders. The cafe where we met, the apartment where I thought I was safe, even my own reflection feels like it's laughing at me. Jason leaned back. Then stop turning. Start moving forward, even if it's just a tiny step. Walk into the office, look at people, say hello. Every little action reminds your brain that life continues. One day you'll feel the anger turn into something else. Something stronger. I closed my eyes. Stronger, maybe. But it feels impossible right now. I don't just want to survive. I want her to pay. I want justice. Jason's eyes glinted. And you will, but not today. Today is survival. Tomorrow the plan begins. But first, you need clarity, and clarity comes from living another day. I opened my eyes. Another day, I murmured, letting the words sink in. Okay, I'll survive another day. I can do that. Jason smiled faintly. That's all I ask for now. One day at a time. You've got a mind, a heart, and a spine. That's more than most people have after a betrayal like this. I leaned back, trying to absorb his words. Every muscle ached, but a spark of something new glimmered inside me. A mix of anger, determination, and a tiny flicker of hope. I wasn't ready to forgive. I wasn't ready to act. But I wasn't ready to break either. Tomorrow, I said finally, my voice low but firm. Tomorrow, I start figuring out how to take back my life. Jason nodded. That's the first real step. You survive today, and tomorrow the rest begins. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt a faint pulse of control. It was fragile, almost laughable, but it was mine. And that was enough to keep me alive for now. I stared at the ceiling, seeing flashes of her face in every scene of our life. Dinner dates, quiet mornings, late-night talks. All lies? How did I not see it? All the little things, the nights she came home late, the secretive calls. Jason shrugged. People hide in plain sight. Trust is a risk. You knew that, but you let yourself believe. That's not your fault. I loved her, I said, voice cracking. I really loved her. And now, I don't even know if I can look at her without feeling this rage. You don't have to decide yet, he said calmly. But hiding won't help. You need clarity, and you need a plan. I rubbed my face. A plan, yeah. But the plan feels impossible when everything I built is crumbling. Jason leaned back. Then start small. Breathe. Watch. Learn. You'll figure out how to survive. And someday maybe even thrive. Right now it's about staying alive in your own mind. I swallowed, nodding slowly. Staying alive, that's all I can do for now. We sat in silence for a while. The morning felt heavier than ever. My love, my trust, my world shattered. I kept thinking about her message, the way she manipulated me. The anger boiled beneath the numbness. You can't let her win completely, Jason said finally. Not today. Not ever. I clenched my fist. I won't. Somehow I'll get through this. I have to. For the first time that morning, I felt a flicker of something besides despair. Anger. Resolve. Determination. I glanced at her empty room and whispered, You think you broke me, but you have no idea what's coming. The sun climbed higher, indifferent to my pain, but I didn't care. I was done being her victim. And that was the start, the moment I realized my life would never be the same. I stared at the ceiling long after Jason left. The apartment felt emptier than ever, as if her laughter had carved out a piece of my soul. I kept turning the betrayal over and over in my mind. Should I forgive? Should I move on? Or should I strike back? Why am I even thinking about her? I muttered to myself, pacing. She doesn't deserve my energy. But every thought drew me back to her. Every memory, every smile, every whispered, I love you, all lies yet hauntingly real. I sank onto the couch, rubbing my eyes. What would I even do if I fought back? My phone buzzed. It was a message from Lisa, my childhood friend. Coffee? You look like a disaster in your last text. I hesitated, then typed, Yeah, I need to think. Bad day. Half an hour later, we sat across from each other at our favorite cafe. You're a mess, she said bluntly, shaking her head. I feel like I've been gutted, I admitted. Every piece of trust one had, stolen. And now I don't know what to do. I can forgive, maybe, but I can't forget. I can walk away, but my anger won't let me. I want something else. Lisa raised an eyebrow. Something else? Revenge. I swallowed hard. Maybe. Or justice. I don't even know the difference anymore. But I can't sit here and let her win. She's too clever, too proud. If I do nothing, everything I believed in is gone. Then act smart, not reckless, Lisa warned. You can't just lash out. You need a plan, patience. And you need allies, people who can watch your back while you figure this out. I nodded slowly. Allies, yes. Jason's helping me survive. Maybe you can help me see clearly. But how do I even begin? Lisa leaned in. First, understand her. Watch. Listen. She left clues even if she thinks you missed them. People like her leave patterns. Study them. Then when the moment is right, you move. I clenched my fists, imagining her shocked face when I finally took control. So, I survive, I watch, and I wait. Then I strike. Exactly, Lisa said. But don't let rage blind you. Strategy beats emotion every time. You can't afford mistakes. I laughed bitterly. Rage is all I have left some days. Strategy sounds clinical. I don't know if I'm capable of being that calm. You will be, she said firmly. Pain teaches focus, trust me. And once you channel that rage, you'll surprise yourself with what you can do. I stared at my coffee, the bitter taste matching the bitterness inside me. Okay, so I wait. I learn. I rebuild myself while keeping an eye on her. And when the time is right, she'll see that I'm not the same man she thought she could manipulate. Lisa smiled faintly. That's the first real choice you've made, not to crumble, not to flee, not to forgive blindly. You've chosen control. And that, my friend, is powerful. I looked out the window, watching pedestrians move in their oblivious lives. I felt a spark of determination ignite. I can't let her think she destroyed me. I won't let anyone think that. Not Jason. Not you. Not even me if I lose focus. Lisa placed her hand on mine. Then start small. Keep your plans tight, your actions discreet, and your mind clear. You've got this. I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. I don't know if it's revenge I want or justice. Maybe it's both. But I do know one thing, I refuse to be powerless anymore. She stood, giving me a quick hug. Good. That's the choice that matters. You survive today, and tomorrow, you begin to take back everything that's yours. As she left, I sat in the cafe, hands wrapped around my coffee, staring at the steam rising. Rage, heartbreak, and clarity swirled together. I could feel the tide turning inside me. I choose control, I whispered. I choose to rise. And when the time comes, she'll regret underestimating me. For the first time since discovering her betrayal, I didn't feel entirely broken. I felt ready. I walked into the office the next morning feeling like a stranger in my own life. Everyone smiled, shook hands, asked me how I was, and I returned the smiles like a trained actor. Inside I was a storm. Morning, Alex, my colleague Jenna said brightly. You look different today. Tough weekend? I forced a casual shrug. Yeah, something like that. She tilted her head, studying me. You okay? You seem off. Like you're hiding something. I laughed lightly, trying to make it sound natural. Hiding? Maybe. But mostly just surviving. Jenna raised an eyebrow but let it go. Surviving, huh? Well, we all do our best. Don't let work get to you too much. I smiled politely, though my mind was racing. Surviving. That's the mask I have to wear. Calm, collected, untouchable. They mustn't see the chaos inside. I headed to my desk, Jason's words echoing in my mind. Watch. Learn. Plan. Every interaction became a test. Every smile, every handshake, every casual chat, I had to filter it through a lens of strategy. Alex. My boss, Mr. Reynolds, appeared beside me unexpectedly. Everything okay? You look different. Confident. I froze for a second. Then smiled. Yeah, just focused. He nodded slowly. Good. That's the mindset I like. Keep it up. As he walked away, I whispered to myself, focused, calm, observant. That's your mask. Nobody sees the real storm inside. By lunch, I'd memorized patterns, overheard whispered conversations, and noticed subtle gestures from coworkers who thought they were unnoticed. She won't be able to manipulate me anymore, I thought. Not through anyone I trust, not through me. Then came the unexpected. Her name, whispered casually by someone in the break room. Did you hear? She's back in town, said a colleague. Apparently she's meeting clients at the building next week. My heart stuttered, but I forced a casual smile. Interesting. Good for her. Alone in the stairwell, I muttered to myself, interesting, yeah, just interesting. Stay calm, Alex. Mask on. Survive. Jason called later that day. How's the battlefield? Quiet, for now, I said. But my mind's racing. I saw her name mentioned and I felt something. Rage. Hurt. Something I haven't felt in days. Good, Jason replied calmly. That fire is useful. Don't let it burn you yet. Let it simmer. Observe. Collect intel. Every move she makes can be used. I know, I said, gripping my phone. I hate that I feel like this. I hate pretending everything's normal. You're acting smarter than I did at your age, he said. Pretending doesn't mean weakness. Pretending means you're ready. That mask you wear, it's armor. Nobody knows the real strength inside. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Armor, right. It's heavy but necessary. The day dragged on. Every conversation, every email, every casual glance, It was all filtered through a new lens. I was no longer just me, I was a version sharpened by betrayal. A version she couldn't touch. By evening I met Lisa again. "How's the mask holding up?" she asked with a small smile. "Fine," I said, though my jaw was tight. "Better than fine. I'm observing, planning, surviving. But it's exhausting. Acting normal when everything inside is burning." She nodded. "That's exactly what makes you dangerous. Nobody suspects the calm, controlled person. They only see what you let them see. Use it. Keep that mask on until the time is right." I sighed. "I will. But sometimes I wonder, will the mask ever feel natural again? Or am I destined to wear it forever?" Lisa leaned closer. "It won't feel natural until you're ready to act. Until then, the mask is your strength. Your weapon. Your shield. Trust me, the day you take control, the mask will feel like freedom." I smiled faintly, though it was tight. Freedom, yeah. That's the goal. Survive first. Plan second. Act last. Walking home later, I caught my reflection in a store window. The same tired eyes, the same tense jaw, but a flicker of something else. A spark of control, of strategy, of quiet fury. I touched my reflection. This mask, it's heavy, but it's mine. And soon, she'll see the man behind it. I walked on, blending into the evening crowd, a calm facade concealing a storm. Inside, every nerve was alert. Every thought sharp. Every plan forming. Survival wasn't just a state, it was preparation. And one day that preparation would become my weapon. I watched from a distance as she walked into the lobby, smiling and poised as if nothing had happened. The crowd of clients and assistants hung on her every word, unaware of the storm brewing behind my calm exterior. I muttered under my breath, "Smile, act normal, observe, wait for the opening." Jason's voice buzzed in my ear. "Remember, your goal is leverage, not confrontation. Don't let emotion dictate your move." "I know," I whispered, keeping my gaze locked on her. "Leverage, control, patience. That's the weapon." I followed her discreetly, pretending to check emails while noting every gesture. She laughed at a client's joke, tapped her phone, adjusted her watch. Tiny details, but each a thread I could pull later. "Alex, coffee?" A voice interrupted my thoughts. It was Mark, my coworker. "You've been quiet all day. Everything okay?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, just focused on work. You know how it is." Mark raised an eyebrow but didn't press. "If you need to talk, I'm around." I nodded. "Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it." Alone in the conference room later, I let my mind run through scenarios. She thinks she has the upper hand. She's confident, arrogant, untouchable. But she underestimates me. And that's my first strike. Jason's voice buzzed again. "Situation update?" She's distracted, mingling, enjoying the attention. "Perfect," I said. I've been noting her contacts, her habits, small weaknesses. She doesn't even know I'm here yet. Good. You need a spark, something subtle that begins shifting the balance in your favor. Make her see you're no longer the one she can manipulate easily. I smiled faintly. I've got just the thing. Moments later, I approached the main client she was entertaining. "Excuse me," I said casually. "I don't mean to interrupt, but I think I can help streamline your contract. It might save time and reduce errors." Her client looked impressed. "Really? That would be amazing. Thank you." She glanced at me, surprised. "Oh, Alex, I didn't realize." I smiled, keeping my tone neutral. "I just noticed a few inconsistencies. Nothing major, but correcting them now saves headaches later." She forced a polite smile, masking irritation. "I see. Thank you for the initiative." I stepped back, letting the client's praise linger in the air. "Of course," I said, turning my attention elsewhere. But inside I felt a surge of satisfaction. The first crack in her flawless image was mine. Jason's voice whispered, "First strike completed. Observe the impact." I watched her subtly stiffen, adjusting her composure, pretending nothing had changed. But I saw it, the slight narrowing of her eyes, the fleeting frustration she tried to hide. My first move had landed. During the afternoon, I continued small interventions, correcting mistakes before she noticed, presenting insights she would have overlooked, quietly earning respect from the staff and clients she relied on. Each action was a ripple, small but deliberate. By the end of the day, she approached me, forcing a casual tone. "Alex, you've been helpful today." I nodded lightly. "Just doing my part. I want the team to succeed." Her eyes flicked briefly, almost warning me, almost challenging. But she didn't speak further. She walked away, leaving me with a grin I barely contained. The balance is shifting. Slowly, but it is shifting. Jason's voice buzzed one last time. Good work. You've reminded her that you're no longer the same man. Patience, observation, leverage, this is how battles are won without a fight. I leaned back at my desk, watching her manage her empire with the same confidence she always had. Only now, I had a secret she couldn't see. I was no longer powerless. I was learning, observing, shaping the battlefield. And every move she made, I cataloged. Every smile, every gesture, every flaw was ammunition for the next strike. I whispered to myself, this is just the beginning. One day she'll realize the king isn't who she thought he was. And when that day comes, I'll be ready. For the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of control. Not triumph, not revenge yet, but control. And that was enough. The next morning, I entered the office with my mask firmly in place. Everyone greeted me with polite smiles, but I could sense the subtle shifts, the whispered remarks, the side glances, the curiosity I'd sparked. Jenna stopped me near the elevator. Alex, something's different about you. People are noticing. I smiled faintly, keeping my tone light. Noticing what? She narrowed her eyes. Confidence. Authority. You're calculating. Careful. It's different from before. I shrugged casually. Maybe I've just been paying more attention. Observing. Learning. She chuckled. Well, whatever it is, it works. Just be careful. People notice when someone changes too fast. I nodded, inwardly agreeing. Let them notice. Let them feel the tension. That's part of the game. Later, I spotted her across the room, gracefully managing a client who seemed slightly impatient. Her composure was flawless, yet I saw it, the tiny flicker of irritation when she realized I'd subtly corrected an error she would have missed. My first strike had left a mark. Jason's voice buzzed. She's reacting. That flicker you saw? That's tension. That's progress. Keep applying pressure, but don't reveal your full hand. I leaned against the wall, pretending to check emails while keeping my eyes on her. She glanced my way, and for a brief second our gazes locked. Her smile was polite, but her eyes betrayed something, mild unease. Alex. Mark called from across the office. Meeting in 5 minutes. You're ready, right? I straightened my posture. Always ready. The meeting room was tense. She started the presentation with her usual confidence, but I noticed her pause slightly whenever I offered a minor correction or insight. The room subtly shifted in my favor, and I could feel the collective energy acknowledging my presence. During a break, she approached me. Alex, you've been very thorough today. I met her gaze evenly. Just trying to be helpful. I want the team to succeed just like you do. Her lips pressed into a thin line. I see. I let the silence stretch just long enough to make her uncomfortable. Then I added, sometimes it's the little things that make the difference. She nodded curtly and walked away. I exhaled slowly. She felt it. She knows I'm not the same man she underestimated. By late afternoon, the tension had spread. I noticed whispers behind my back, quick glances from colleagues, subtle nods of acknowledgement. The environment was shifting, my influence growing. Jason's voice buzzed again. Good. You're creating uncertainty. That's key. Keep it subtle, Alex. Let her doubt herself while maintaining your calm. I muttered under my breath. Doubt herself? Yes. That's exactly what I want. The day wasn't without risk. One of her close associates, Claire, intercepted me near the break room. Alex, you're changing things. Are you trying to undermine her? I laughed lightly, keeping my tone casual. Undermine? No. Just making small improvements. Nothing more. Claire studied me, unconvinced. Be careful. People notice who shifts the balance. I'm aware, I said evenly, walking away. Let her worry. Let them all worry. It's exactly what I need. Later, she called me into her office unexpectedly. Alex, come in. I stepped inside, closing the door behind me. Her posture was perfect, but her eyes were sharp. I've noticed you've been unusually proactive lately. Care to explain? I smiled faintly. Just trying to contribute more. I want to help the team succeed. Her gaze lingered, calculating. Interesting. Very thorough. You've improved. Thank you, I said, keeping my tone neutral. I've been observing, learning, adjusting. She leaned back, silent for a moment. Then her lips curved into a faint, measured smile. Good. Keep it up. But don't get too comfortable, Alex. I nodded. Wouldn't dream of it. After leaving her office, I exhaled. The tension was thick, palpable. She knew something was shifting, but she didn't yet know how much control I had regained. The first strike was done, and now the real game had begun. Walking back to my desk, I whispered to myself, "This tension, it's perfect. Let it build." Every glance, every gesture, every whispered word, it's all part of the strategy. And soon, she'll realize I'm no longer the one she can manipulate. By the time I left the office, exhaustion had settled in, but it was tempered by a quiet satisfaction. The first strike had caused ripples. The rising tension was mine to command. And tomorrow, the pressure would mount further. For the first time in weeks, I felt the thrill of control. And it tasted sweet. I thought I had regained control. Thought the tension I built would give me an edge. But nothing prepared me for the hit that came from where I least expected it. It was mid-afternoon when Claire cornered me near the supply room. "Alex, we need to talk," she said, her tone unusually serious. I raised an eyebrow. "Sure. What's going on?" She glanced around, lowered her voice. "It's about her. About your boss. She's planning something. Something that could ruin you if you're not careful." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" Claire's eyes flicked nervously toward the hallway. "I can't say much here. But you need to trust me. She's not who you think she is. She's been manipulating things behind your back. More than you know." I frowned. "Manipulating?" "Claire, I've seen her for what she is. She's clever, yes, but I've been observing. Nothing surprises me anymore." Her expression hardened. "You think you see everything, but this is different. She's planning to make you look like the fool. And I'm telling you, it's coming soon." I clenched my fists, trying to keep my voice calm. "Why are you telling me this? If she's smart, she won't let anyone leak her plans." Claire swallowed, her hands trembling slightly. "Because I'm tired of being used, and you deserve to know. Don't think I trust you entirely. I've seen what you're capable of, but this, you need to prepare." I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "Claire, you better not be lying. One wrong move, and this isn't just about the company anymore." She nodded quickly. "I'm not lying. I just want you to survive. That's all." I exhaled slowly. "All right. Tell me what you know." She hesitated, then leaned in, whispering the details. The schemes, the manipulations, the alliances she'd secretly forged against me. My stomach churned with a mixture of rage and disbelief. "So, she's planning to betray me," I muttered, voice low. "After everything I've done, after every effort to maintain control." Claire nodded. "Exactly. And if you don't act fast, she'll make you look like the idiot in front of everyone. She's good at this." I felt a cold anger settle over me. "She won't get away with it." "You sure?" Claire asked cautiously. "She's clever. And she knows you're observing now. That might make her dangerous." I shook my head, gripping the edge of the counter. "I've been waiting for this moment without realizing it. She thinks she's in control. She thinks she can manipulate me like before. She's about to find out that I've been preparing for months." Claire studied me silently, a hint of doubt in her eyes. "I hope you're right. Because if she's as dangerous as I think, you might not be ready." I straightened, meeting her gaze. "I'm ready. I've survived before, haven't I? This is just another challenge. And she's going to regret underestimating me." Later, alone in my office, I replayed every interaction, every subtle hint, every observation I'd made. She had allies, yes, but I had the advantage of preparation and knowledge now. And that was priceless. Jason called. "Situation update?" I exhaled sharply. "I just learned something. Claire warned me. She says my boss is planning something behind my back. A betrayal. I didn't see it coming from her directly, but it's real." Jason's voice was calm. "Good. You have the information. Use it. Don't react emotionally. Every step she takes now can be countered if you plan carefully." I ran my hands through my hair. I thought I was controlling the board, the environment, everything. And now, it feels like she's 3 steps ahead. Exactly. That's why you need patience. Observation. Come. The first strike may have shifted the tension, but the real battle is about to begin. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. Battle, right. I survived her first deception. I survived her manipulations before. I can survive this too. I whispered to myself, but this time I won't just survive. I'll strike back. Art. And when she realizes the betrayal she tried to set up, it'll be her turn to feel powerless. By evening I'd made a plan. Small moves, subtle manipulations, careful positioning. Every piece set in place, every ally observed. The unexpected betrayal had been revealed, and now, it was my turn to take control. For the first time, a smile curved my lips, not of relief, not of triumph, but of quiet determination. She thought she could betray me without consequence. Soon, she would learn the cost. I didn't rush. That was the first rule I forced myself to follow. Panic was what she expected from me, and I refused to give her that satisfaction. Jason called early. "You sound calm," he said. "That worries me." "I'm not calm," I replied. "I'm focused." "Good. Then tell me what you know." "She's building a case." Quietly. Emails, meetings, whispers. "She wants to make me look unstable, unreliable, desperate." Jason exhaled. Classic move. "So what's your counter?" "I don't destroy her," I said. "I let her destroy herself." There was a pause. "Explain." "She lies fast," I continued. "But she forgets details." "I don't." "Every contradiction, every promise she breaks, every number that doesn't match, I document it. No accusations. Just truth." Jason chuckled. "You're learning." "I learned from her," I said flatly. "At work, I played my role perfectly. Polite, helpful, quiet. When she spoke in meetings, I nodded. When she dismissed my ideas, I thanked her. Every interaction was bait. Claire pulled me aside near noon. "You're acting strange." "Strange how?" I asked. "Too calm," she said. "People who know they're in danger don't act like this." I leaned closer. "People who panic lose." "I don't plan to." Her eyes searched my face. "You're planning something." I smiled faintly. "So is she." That afternoon she summoned me. "Alex, close the door." I did. Slowly. She folded her hands. "I've received concerns about your recent behavior." I tilted my head. "Concerns?" "Yes," she said smoothly. "Some say you've been overstepping." "Interesting," I replied. "Who said that?" "That's not important." "It is if it's false," I said calmly. Her jaw tightened. "Careful." "I am," I said. "Very careful." Silence stretched between us. She leaned back. "I want transparency." "So do I," I said. "That's why I started documenting everything." Her eyes flickered. Just for a second. "Documentation?" she asked. "Yes," I replied. "Tasks, approvals, changes, instructions, dates, times." She smiled tightly. "Very thorough." "You taught me to be," I said. She dismissed me quickly after that. Too quickly. That night, Jason met me for a drink. "You rattled her." "I saw it," I said. "Fear hides in the eyes." "So what's the final move?" "I don't expose her yet," I replied. "I wait until she pushes." "She will," Jason said. "People like her always do." The push came 3 days later. An emergency meeting. Senior leadership. HR present. She spoke first. "I have serious concerns about Alex's judgment." I stayed silent. She continued. "His behavior has become erratic, secretive, disruptive." I raised my hand. "May I respond?" She hesitated. Briefly. "I prepared for this," I said, standing. "May I share my records?" Her eyes widened. "That won't be necessary." "It is," the director said. I connected my laptop. Emails appeared. Instructions she denied giving. Deadlines she changed. Numbers she altered after approval. One executive frowned. "These timestamps." Another leaned forward. "These edits were made after review." The room shifted. She tried to interrupt. "This is misleading." "I'm not finished," I said calmly. I showed them everything. No emotion. No accusation. Just facts. Silence followed. Finally, the director spoke. "We'll need time to review this." She looked at me then. Really looked at me. The confidence was gone. After the meeting, she cornered me. "You think you've won?" I met her stare. "No. I think I survived." "This isn't over," she hissed. I nodded. "I know." That night, alone, I whispered, "This isn't revenge. It's balance." And for the first time, I slept without fear. The morning sunlight barely penetrated my apartment, but I felt awake in a way I hadn't in months. Everything was in motion. The pieces, the plans, the balance of power shifting beneath her feet. Jason's call buzzed. "It's happening." "What?" I asked, keeping my voice calm. "The board has started questioning her leadership. Your documentation, your timing, it's perfect." "She's cornered." I chuckled softly. "I didn't do anything spectacular. Just waited." "Waiting works when patience is skill," he said. "Be ready for her move." I arrived at the office, pretending nothing had changed. She was there, her posture perfect, but her eyes darted too quickly, too nervously. I caught the flicker of unease I'd been waiting for. "Alex," she said, voice even. "I'd like a word." I followed her into her office. She closed the door, forcing a tense silence. "Do you think you've won?" "I don't think," I said. "I know." Her jaw tightened. "You've made enemies today. People will remember this." "I don't have enemies here," I said calmly. "Just truth." "You're reckless," she hissed. "Do you realize what you've done?" "Perfectly," I replied. "And so do you." She stared, trying to regain composure. "You think this changes everything?" "It does," I said. "Because now people see reality. Your manipulations, your lies, your double-dealing, they're exposed. You were clever, yes, but not clever enough. You'll regret this." "I survived regret before," I said, "and I'll survive again. But you won't have anyone left to trust." Her face hardened, but for the first time I sensed doubt. The cracks I'd sown were widening. Later, in the boardroom, she tried to assert control, her voice smooth but strained. Executives glanced at me, whispering. Emails and reports I'd prepared lay open on their tablets, undeniable proof of her missteps. "You're making this personal," she said sharply. "I'm making it real," I corrected. "Nothing personal. Just facts. Just timing." The room fell silent as each executive digested the evidence. She tried to speak again, but no one listened. Her authority, once unchallenged, was crumbling. I watched as her hands trembled slightly. I could see the panic she had buried so well. After the meeting, Claire approached me, a quiet smile on her face. "It's done. She can't manipulate anyone now." I nodded, keeping my expression neutral. "It's done when justice is visible, not before." Jason called again. "Are you satisfied?" "I'm not satisfied," I said softly. "I'm calm. But satisfied?" "No. Calm means control means opportunity." By evening, she cornered me in the hallway. "Alex, this isn't over. I can recover." "You can recover," I agreed, "but people will remember. They'll see the truth. You chose your path." Her eyes flickered, a mixture of fury and disbelief. "You think you can just walk away?" "I don't have to walk away," I said. "I stand here holding what you tried to take from me. My integrity. My position. My respect." She swallowed hard, the perfect mask slipping. You've changed." "Survival changes a man," I said softly. "Betrayal changed me, but so did patience. So did observation. And now," I paused, letting the weight of the moment settle. "Now you see the result." The next week, the board convened again. She tried to present her case, but I let my documentation speak first. Evidence, proof, timing, it was unstoppable. One by one, her allies faltered. They couldn't ignore reality. Finally, the director spoke. "Her resignation is requested. Immediate." I stepped back, watching her reaction. Pride, fury, helplessness, all mixed into a single human expression. She had underestimated me, and now the crown of authority I had claimed through perseverance, patience, and strategy rested firmly in my hands. Later, she approached me privately. "Alex, I misjudged you. I never thought you could." "You didn't," I interrupted gently. "But now you know. And maybe if you want, you can learn from it." Her eyes softened briefly, then hardened again. "Maybe." I smiled faintly. "That's enough for now." Walking through the office, people stopped me, acknowledging my presence differently than before. Not fear, not envy, but respect. Subtle nods, polite greetings, a recognition of survival and skill. Jason texted me, "The crown is yours." Well played. I stared at the message, thinking about the journey, the betrayal, the unexpected allies, the patience, the subtle manipulations. Every step had led to this. And then I whispered, almost to myself, I survived her betrayal, rewrote our fate, and finally became the king of her heart. That night, alone, I allowed myself a quiet satisfaction. Not arrogance. Not gloating. Just the knowledge that the game had ended and justice, in its own calculated, inevitable way, had been served. Tomorrow I'd step into my office as a leader, a survivor, a man who had been tested and had emerged stronger. And finally, at peace. The office was quiet, a calm I hadn't felt in months. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and tension had passed, leaving a sense of control I had earned through patience, observation, and careful planning. Claire appeared at my side holding 2 coffees. "You look different," she said, handing me one. "Different?" I asked, taking the cup. Confident, she said, smirking. Like the world can't touch you. I chuckled softly. The world can touch me. I just choose which parts one let in. She studied me for a moment. You've grown. The Alex I knew would have panicked weeks ago. Yeah, I said quietly, staring out the window. I panicked once. It nearly destroyed me. But I survived. And now, I think I've learned something important. What's that? She asked. That control isn't about power. It's about patience, observation, knowing when to strike and when to wait. She nodded, clearly impressed. And what about her? I took a slow sip. She'll survive eventually. But she's been humbled. Everyone sees the truth now. And maybe that's enough. Revenge without satisfaction isn't real. It has to be balanced. Claire tilted her head. So, what happens next? I smiled faintly. Next I lead. Not as a tyrant, not as a predator. But as someone who's earned respect the hard way. And I make sure no one, underestimates me again. Jason called mid-morning. Status update? Everything's stabilizing, I said. The board supports me, my position is secure, and she's adapting. Good, he replied. And personally? You okay? I leaned back. I will be. Slowly. It's a lot to process. The betrayal, the manipulations. But I've come through stronger. I've been tested in every way possible. You've earned it, he said. Enjoy the victory. Later, my former betrayer approached me quietly. Alex, I misjudged you, she said softly. I looked her in the eye. You did. But misjudgment is human. We all have weaknesses. She swallowed. Can we move forward? I hesitated. Move forward? Yes, she said, her voice low. Not as enemies, not as lovers, but as equals. Can we have that? I studied her, thinking of all the pain, the deceit, the games. Maybe. But it will take time. Trust isn't rebuilt overnight. And actions matter more than words now. She nodded, a faint smile forming. I understand. I'll earn it. Later that evening, I sat in my office alone. My mind wandered to the journey, the betrayals, the careful plotting, the lessons learned. I whispered to myself, this is more than survival. This is legacy. This is who I've become. The phone buzzed. It was Claire. You okay? I am, I said. More than okay. I feel in control. I feel balanced. She laughed softly. You sound like a different person. I am, I admitted. I've been broken, tested, and reshaped. And now, I can finally move forward without fear, without hesitation. I know my limits, my strengths, and the people I can trust. That's freedom. A knock at the door startled me. It was Jason. Dinner? I smiled. Yeah. Let's go. As we left, I looked back at the office, the place where battles had been fought, secrets uncovered, and power won. This building, I whispered, witnessed everything. And now it witnesses the start of something new. Walking through the city streets that evening, I felt lighter. The betrayal had been harsh, but survival had been sweeter. My enemies humbled. My allies loyal. And I had finally reclaimed myself. Claire nudged me. So, king of her heart? I laughed. Maybe. But more importantly, king of my own life. I've survived, I've grown, and I've earned this. That's my crown, and it doesn't depend on anyone else. And for the first time in a long time, I smiled without reservation. Not arrogance. Not gloating. Just the quiet satisfaction of a man who had faced betrayal, endured it, and emerged not only alive but stronger, wiser, and free. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, of course. But tonight I let myself rest. For the first time in years, the past didn't control me. I did. And that was everything.